So for quite some time now, the cycle counts in the currencies have just kind of baffled me. I haven't been able to figure out anything that makes any sense. Um, but I've been studying the Euro chart this evening, and I think maybe I've finally got the correct cycle count, which should give us a clue as to when we want to start buying uh, our metal positions. So um, this is clearly the top of this intermediate cycle. We made a slightly higher high right here than we did here. So rather than call this one really short um, daily cycle, I think this is just a stretched cycle. Maybe we call this a half cycle low here. But either way, this is a daily cycle low, no doubt about that. And then an intermediate decline really should have at least one failed daily cycle. So if this is just the bottom of a daily cycle after the intermediate top, then this is the next daily cycle. And considering that the euro should be in an intermediate decline, we really need to have at least one failed daily cycle. You can see we've got a higher or a lower high right here. We didn't go above this. So a lower high. We made a reaction low down here, which I would call this a half cycle low. A bounce that again makes a lower high. We did not go above this one. And now we're coming down. We've made a lower low below this half cycle low. And if we assume that in order to complete an intermediate decline that we need to have at least one failed daily cycle, then I think we should assume that the euro, this daily cycle is not going to bottom until the euro breaks below this daily cycle low here. So this would give us our left translated and failed daily cycle. And one of my other nightly reports, I pointed out that we've got some support right here at this triple top, this congestion area here, right around 120, 121, somewhere in there. So I'm going to say this is one daily cycle. It is in the process of left translating, and before it's done, I think we're going to have to break below this this daily cycle low here, and this will need to form as a failed daily cycle, and that will give us our final intermediate cycle low. So I don't think this is the intermediate cycle low right here. I think we're going to have to come down, break this, come down into this support zone here at around 121 before we get our final intermediate cycle low. And this is the Japanese yen. You can see the chart's much clearer here. We've got an intermediate advance. Here's the intermediate top. We're now working our way down into an intermediate cycle low. It's getting pretty mature. So we're probably within a week or so of completing this intermediate cycle low in the yen, and that would I'm going to say that both the yen and the euro will probably complete their ICLs roughly together here in the next week and a half, and that should give us a top in the U.S. dollar. So here's the dollar chart. We did make a higher high actually yesterday, and then we're continuing today. So this is our intermediate cycle low. We're about, I think we're about 10 weeks into this intermediate advance. It's been very weak. We haven't been able to get much traction. But assuming that the euro still has to left translate and give us at least one failed daily cycle, then we've probably got a little more upside on the dollar, maybe up into this resistance zone here around 91.7 before before the dollar completes an intermediate top, and then we start moving back down again. So as this pertains to gold, I think we want to be patient. If we were to get a swing low tomorrow, I think we might want to ignore it under the assumption that gold is going to continue down until the euro completes, that failed daily cycle, and then that would be the spot where the euro would potentially bottom, gold would bottom, the yen would bottom, and then all of these would turn back up. So this could be set up for a false swing. So let's say we get a narrow range day today, and tomorrow we get a move up. Maybe we form some kind of a little bear flag pattern. But I think we want to be careful not to jump the gun too quickly on gold and just take the first swing as the daily cycle bottom, because we may have further to go, assuming that the euro needs to complete that failed daily cycle before it can find its final intermediate low. So let's have a little patience here in the metals and take our cues from the euro chart. And once the euro has completed that daily cycle low, then I think we can start looking for a swing low in gold, and maybe one that would have a better shot of signaling a final intermediate bottom.